2008, I got my first swastika on me. They were like trophies to me. Back then, I cherished each one of them because I wanted to be on top. Now, there's always that fear that somebody will take my life just because I want out of the game.
When I started helping people leave extremist environments, I just realized that a lot of those people had tattoos. Tattoos like I had myself. Since we started the Erasing the Hate campaign, I think we covered up between 100 and 150 tattoos.
Seeing all the hate tattoos I have on me, it's embarrassing. I don't like to be seen out in public with my shirt off. Back then, I thought it was great, and now it's embarrassing. I drove 5 hours from Arkansas to come here today. We're going to be removing or covering up a Hitler portrait that I have on my chest. It's going to be amazing just to have that removed, just to feel the relief of another hate tattoo gone off my body. This was me at age 13 when I got diagnosed with leukemia after I started having my treatments. I spent 3 years at St. Jude's Hospital, and after that, I always felt like I missed out on a childhood, and I always felt like I wanted to be accepted. And when I left St. Jude's Hospital, I started hanging out with the wrong crowd that was doing drugs and partying. When I was 17 years old, me and a bunch of my friends got addicted to methamphetamines. I did 10 years my first time in prison for conspiracy to commit aggravated robbery. And when I got into prison, I remember walking in and getting jumped on by a bunch of Crips and Bloods. And the only people that stood beside me to fight was the skinheads. As soon as I joined this family, everything went away. There was no more having to fight every day, and I wanted to prove myself. It didn't matter what it was. If there was something that needed to be done, I would volunteer for it just to try to make a name for myself. I wanted everyone to be scared of me. The very first hate symbol I got was my patch and my pyramid on my side with the 2 swastikas and bolts to show that I put in work and that I was now an official war skinhead. I was trying to show, any of the Jews, any of the blacks, that war is going to take over. We're gonna end up running this world. We're gonna make it a white world again. Prison made me hate a lot, and it turned me into a different person. This was me and my son. I had just got out of prison. Grew my beard out real long. It's nothing like holding my son and being able to hold him and tell him how much I loved him and missed him. This is the change that I've wanted. I'm working on getting all of my tattoos covered up and living life for my family this time, and not, for what I called my bros at the time that were never really been there for me. I see that now. All they wanted to do was use me to do their dirty work, to push drugs. And last time I was in prison, my sister was online doing some research to try to get me some help, to try to get me out of this prison gang. And she ran across the Erase the Hate campaign, and it got me involved talking with TM.
I grew up in a very small town in southern Germany. This photo was when I was a skinhead. I just came back from college and lived with my mother for a couple months. And I was pretty integrated in the skinhead movement and neo-Nazi movement at that time. And that was 1998 when I joined the first KKK group, but you can actually see the tattoo on my hands. That was the boots I had there. Even though I've seen those photos many times, it's still flashbacks. And sometimes I can't even believe that that's me on those photos. But I think it's important for everybody who has been in an extremist group once. I think it's very important that they're not in disbelief. They should actually look at those photos, be aware, and use it for something good. So, my name is Tim Garrett. I'm a human rights activist and the founder and director of a non-profit organization called Change that is based in the Memphis metro area. We help people leave extremist environments, such hate groups, but also gangs. We use different methods to help them. One of these methods is, for example, the Erasing the Hate campaign, where we teamed up with tattoo parlors all across the country, covering up tattoos for free, just to give them a second chance and with no judgment, just to help them out. Hey, man.
Hey, man, how are you?
Come on. Come on, let's get in the car. It's cold.
It's cold.
Way too cold for Memphis. Other parts of my exit program is community work. I have created so-called safe havens where I can take a former extremist and have them meet with a minority. So, I'm not sure if I told you about Ray.
Yes.
Ray was one of the first people who actually got a cover-up at Six Eye Tattoos when we founded the campaign.
That's awesome.
And he was a member of a black gang,
Right.
like years and years ago. And now he's a pastor. He's got his own church, and we met through the campaign.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Doing awesome. How are you? I'm Romey.
Romey. Good to meet you, Romey.
Nice to meet you, man.
Good. So TM was telling me, man, that you changed your mind and your heart on some things.
Yeah, just when I went to prison, it seemed like, you know, I was looking for that family, that, you know, that group of guys to be accepted at, you know, and the hate, it just starts becoming an everyday experience, you know, and it becomes normal, you know. I realized that's not the life. It's not how I was raised. It's not.
Yeah.
When I told the Aryans I wanted out, they beat me with locks and they broke my eye sockets, my jaw, my nose, and all the Bloods in the barracks beat every Aryan out of the barracks when I got jumped on because they felt it was wrong, you know.
You said the Bloods, the gang Bloods?
Yeah. They're like, look, you've been beat so many times. I'm tired of this. This doesn't happen anymore.
So you decided to get out of it in prison?
Yes,
okay.
while I was in prison.
I would like you to maybe, if you're comfortable with that, show him some of your tattoos.
Yes. You want to see? Want to take a look at it?
Yeah, that's cool.
Here's the Hitler that they're fixing to work on right here.
Oh, wow.
And I'm covered, and it's the most embarrassing thing, you know.
This is my tattoo here. I got covered up. So on the cross here, you see a bandana hanging on it?
Yeah.
That's where I hung the lifestyle that I live. Yeah, right there. So, but awesome. It was my name with a bunch of 5-point stars and all of that. So, so I just kind of wanted to blend it all in. He added that, but I'm gonna go back because I'm gonna fill all this up. Yeah, to that right there. But one question I gotta ask you though: what was the turning point? Why you say this is?
I lost everything. I felt, you know, when I knew I wasn't gonna see my kids no more. When I knew that all I had left was nothing but hate. I never put my family first. And I always remember my wife would argue and I'd tell her, well, it's a damn shame, you know, my bros respect me more than my family does. And this last time when she told me, you know, she said, well, go where you deserve and get the respect you deserve then. And then she filed for divorce and I started thinking, I'm like, you know, these guys really aren't my family. That was my family. You know, they were the one that was always there for me. You know, no one else has been there for me. I remember sitting in county jail and thinking about never seeing my kids again, never gonna see my wife again because I gave everything to my brothers at the time. I remember being scared just to come out of my cell and tell them, you know, that I was done. And they pretty much said, no, it's blood in or blood out. They stabbed me several times, tried to slice off my patches on my side, on my tattoos, slit my wrists. So, you know, this life isn't what they tell you it's about. And once you realize that and you want out, there's no turning back. Even though I knew that I could be dead, I just knew at the time that it was the right thing to do. I just gave up a lot for my kids, you know. The years that I missed out on my kid's life, it just hurts inside. A lot of people can't, like in my case, can't afford just to go to a tattoo shop and have big pieces covered up. There's a tattoo shop here, Six Side Tattoo, that volunteers their work to help ex-gang members cover up their tattoos.
Unbutton that, let me see that a little bit. All right. So we got a lot there.
Yeah.
Are you opposed to skulls?
No.
Because that would work. Anything, you know, big and dark, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
This is real light, so that's what I was, thinking too.
yeah, we're gonna start in the middle, obviously. That's the most, well, the middle and that, you know,
Yeah.
is the most important thing I see, and the SS at the top. So I'm not really so much worried about the tower right now. I mean, eventually, of course, it will be a full chest piece covered up, but I'd rather focus on the important section, the 1488 and all that, you know. All right, so just give me a minute, I'll find some ideas to go off of. This particular tattoo is going to be extremely challenging because it takes up so much space. It's going to take quite some time to get the entire thing done. So this is an idea that I got off the computer, obviously, but we're not going to copy this exactly. I'm going to do my own thing and make it custom. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this skull here and we're going to put it over the Hitler here in the middle. So it's going to be dead center, the centerpiece. It's going to be the start to a giant chest piece.
Okay. I think it looks good. I think it'll be
good. All right, well, I'm going to draw it up and then you can relax for a minute. When I get it drawn, I'll call you.
awesome. Thank
All
you.
right, no problem.
One of the main goals of the Aryan Brotherhood is to make sure that all of your tattoos are covered, and their policy is to burn them off or cut them off. But if they're not there anymore, they'll leave them alone, and leave me alone. So getting these tattoos removed or covered up, it has big potential for them to leave me alone and leave my family alone. I had several skinheads come after me. They had a homemade prison shanks, what they call a homemade knife. It's an ice pick, and metal locks that is on our lock box just to lock up our food. And they broke them off and wrapped socks around them and hit me in the head several times. I have scars on the sides of my head, stabbed me through the sides of my head. I had an ice pick go through my throat. I had ice picks go through my arms. We were trying to fight them off, through my hands. They stabbed me a couple times through my shoulder. When I woke up, they were sitting on top of me with razor blades, trying to slice off my rank badge. But this is what happens, when they decide that they don't want you to be in their gang, or if you decide you want out of a gang now.
What we're gonna do now is we're gonna shave your chest. It's like he's waving goodbye to me. How long has he been there?
12 years now.
12?
12 years.
Wow. So, like I was telling somebody earlier, one of the good things about this is when you're done with all this, you'll be able to go to a swimming pool. You'll be able to go to a cookout or whatever, go to the beach, take your shirt off, and you don't have to worry about nothing.
Now it's like, I want to hide under a shell.
Right. So what we're doing today, this is like, it's not only a new cool tattoo, it's a lot of relief as well.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. Tim, will you give me a hand, please? All right, go ahead and get comfortable. So at first, it's gonna, I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna look like a big black blob until I start cutting in and doing detail, you know what I mean?
If you're in that white supremacist, white nationalist movement, you have doubts and you want to leave, but somehow you think it's easier to stay because society doesn't want you. They judge you for you staying in that group. And you have to have a hell of a courage to change your situation, because you have to maybe move to another town, you have to find new friends, maybe change your name. And when it comes to extremists, they also have to change everything they believe in. All of a sudden, they're nobody again. They have no identity anymore but being that former extremist. And it takes a lot of courage to do that.
So since you're bleeding and shaking so bad, we will stop right there. But we have probably about 2 more hours on this piece for the squiggle lines and the shading and stuff, but that's a hell of a start. This is just the dark part. We lay down the dark base first, then we come back and refine it and put all the detail in it. So when you dive into this, you have to start somewhere, you know what I mean? And that's just the beginning. It's gonna be way bigger and better than that. The next time you see him, it'll be done, for sure.
Once all of my tattoos are covered up, I won't have to look over my shoulder anymore. I don't have to look at all the hate and feel like I have to live that hatred life anymore. I can just move on with my life and try to help maybe kids or people that have been through the stuff that I have to try to better their lives, stay away from the life that I lived. I'm hoping before someone just goes and joins a gang that they think twice, and they might remember me and know that this is a mistake, that they have more to live for than what I had to go through.